Hello, Barbara and Cindy. So glad to have y'all. Suzanne. Hey, Brenda. Good evening from Alberta. That's cool. I bet it is cool, Barbara. Probably up your way. It was, I think, the high 50s today. Hello, Brenda. I think it was, Lynn, was it in the 50s? Almost 60s? Yeah, by 58. So it's pretty nice here, South Carolina.
It'll be 60 tomorrow.
Going to be 60. Can you believe it? In February in South Carolina. We're sweating. Is it 8 o'clock yet? I'm sorry, y'all. I don't have my watch on. Is it 8? Lynn?
Oh, yeah, that's right, babe.
Okay. Sorry. I took my I'm sorry. I took my Fitbit with me on my retreat, and it's so dead. Hey, Sandra.
7:59.
Okay. I took my Fitbit anyway. It's so dead. It didn't even turn on or anything when I put it on the charger. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, Ammirata. So excited to be with y'all out here tonight. And I wanted to share a little bit of my experience and what I went through. I was on a week-long professional leadership retreat, is what it was. It was professional, but it definitely was personal as well. And it was for entrepreneurs. It was for the company that I work for. And we met in the hill country of Texas. So we were a little bit, let's see, I can't remember if we were south or north of Austin. North of Austin. We were 1 hour. We were literally in the hills and the trees and the woods. It was very beautiful. Hello, Andrea. So glad you could be out here. And it was my second training, my second retreat, my work retreat. The first one was a long weekend. That one was a week. I have one more coming up. I have another one that's a little bit over a week that I will attend in March. And I got so much out of it. So if I repeat anything that I repeated in the earlier videos, I apologize ahead of time. It was so much going on. It was so intense that really it drained me. It drained me, but in a good way. It's sort of like you kind of bury yourself and then you can work on yourself. So what we did was we had a combination of one-on-one. We would break out in groups. So we would have a one-on-one. You'd have a team member. They even called it a buddy. And then sometimes you would get in a group of 5. And then we also had a group of 10. It was the same 10 people every time. And we'd have exercises. We'd have different things that we were to do. We were to share things like what's your biggest fear, or what's your vision? What is it that you want to achieve in your life? And what would your life look like if you don't achieve that? So some of the takeaway, and we had class as well. We had, sometimes it would be just people within the class would be sharing their experiences. And then, thank you for the hearts. Hey, Sherry. Sometimes it would be people within the class would get a chance to share, like if they had a breakthrough or what was going on, maybe what was holding them back. And then we had an instructor. We had several instructors that would come and speak. And most of what they were doing, it wasn't speaking at us, but it was causing us to think and causing us to think about, what it is that we're doing and what it is that we need to do and how we can move forward. So we had a series of those. And then we had some days that were very physical. One of the days we were out for, I say 4 to 5 hours, and we were on like a ropes course, and we had to work together as a team to accomplish these fun tasks. But it was fun, but yet there were strategies that had to be developed. And sometimes I did not understand exactly what we needed to do, but I listened and I trusted in my team, and sometimes I did. And I just played together as a team. Hello, Amelia. So glad you could be out here. But on Thursday was an all-day event. We were outside all day. And it really was very challenging. It was very challenging physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I was very proud at what many people accomplished on that day, because we had people that were doing things that they really had fears. That's okay. I'm glad you're out here, Amelia. They were accomplishing things like, let's say they were afraid of heights, because one of my teammates was, in fact, two of them were very afraid of heights. And they were getting up and they were doing things that it was very much out of their comfort zone. But they did it. They didn't want to, but they did it anyway. And I was just so amazed at the strength of people and what people went through. We had one lady that, let's just say, she is somewhere in her 60s. I don't know if it's maybe late 60s. And she's got a little extra weight on her, which happens to us in life. She got up. She was on, we were doing, I don't even know what to call it. It was called a high ropes course, but we were like 60 feet off the ground. We were tied off, but it was very intense. She took it one step at a time, but wow, it was amazing what she accomplished. I do hope that, hey Dottie, it's good to have you on here again. I hope that you get a chance to do something on that order. We should all be working on ourselves. That's what I'm doing. And there's a lot of work to be done. But there are things that we have to do, that we need to do. And sometimes we are our biggest obstacle. I mean, I could say that for myself. Sometimes I'm my biggest hurdle. It's me. My own fears. Hey, Eileen. My own fears, my own self-doubt, my way of criticizing myself, I guess you could say, sometimes. So what I learned, and let me my key takeaways. I was asked this today. What were the key things that I would take away from this? And what I would hope for you to do something on this order, whatever it is. For one thing, is a sense of urgency. That was one thing that was stressed this entire time that we were there. It was a sense of urgency. Don't put off till tomorrow. We don't know what we're going to have tomorrow. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, right? Not that we're dreading tomorrow, but we need to make sure we have reached and touched everyone that is our purpose. You have a distinct, unique purpose in this world, each and every one of y'all. You've got something to do on this earth that only you can do. Let's make sure that we do it. Let's not put it off. So a sense of urgency. The other thing was, and I may have said this on one of the other videos, but before I was going, and I did share a little bit about, I was a little bit anxious. I was excited and I was anxious. As in, I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure. Do you ever wonder sometimes if maybe you find out something about yourself you just really don't like, or you need to fix? And I know I need working on. I know there's things that I need to overcome. That was my theme for myself, is to be an overcomer. But I was, and it was like, and that was a couple weeks before going, all up until about maybe 2 to 3 days out. And something within me, I guess, really it was God was just speaking to me saying, and this is what he said, just, in my heart. It wasn't anything real profound, but it was like, Melanie, focus on others. Seek to help others while you're there. Help them get what it is they're looking for. Just help them and be there for others. And I said, okay, I can do this. That's something I can do. I love people and I want everybody to be successful that comes here. And plus I love making friends. So I'm going to make me some friends. My husband also went, but we decided to stay separate so that we could each independently experience this. I didn't want him to be concerned. Hey, Carrie. I didn't want him to be concerned about or having to pull my weight. I wanted him to be able to totally enjoy and learn what he needed to learn on his own. Plus, I got a roommate and I made a friend. So I have become very good friends with my roommate, and it was wonderful. So when I got there, I met some of the most amazing people, amazing women, just like you all. And they really inspired me because some of them have really gone through it. They have really had to overcome major obstacles in their life, even from early on, from childhood, things that they had to overcome. And I knew that is what I needed to do, was to even bear myself, be vulnerable, which is one of the posts that I made today, to be vulnerable, to share love with others. We have to be vulnerable, and it's very uncomfortable. But I did notice this. I noticed that as I was sharing or actually focusing on others, it was ministering to me. I was actually getting what I needed. And I was realizing that, it really does. They say it takes a village to raise, your child. And that's so true. I totally agree with that. But it really takes a village to get through this world, doesn't it? We need each other. We need each other's strengths, because we're all going to be weak at some point. But we have to depend on each other at times. We can't always be independent. And I guess that's what I took away. That was one of the big things, because how many times do we say, oh, well, if you want to get something done and do it right, you have to do it yourself. Well, that's not true. The biggest accomplishments always come from great teams. So that's what we're building here. We're building a great team, because we're each going to help each other get through this thing called life. And we don't want to just survive it. We want to thrive. I want y'all to thrive. I want you to have purpose, I want you to be fulfilled. I want you to have fun, have adventure, and make friends out here and be a family. That is why we're here. We're here to encourage each other. So I was able to encourage these young women. And what did they do? They inspired me. They inspired me, and I just thought, I have been holding back. I don't know why. I guess it's a protective mechanism. Let's call it that. Because if you don't let people in, then you don't get hurt, right? But you know what? If we don't let people in, then we don't get loved either. So we have to let people in and be vulnerable and love, so that we can love and so that we can be loved. So anyway, that is a little brief summary of what it was. It was a lot more than that. I'm going to tell you what, they had a lot of food. And I had gotten down to 151 pounds, and I know I'm not 151 pounds now. I know I've gained up a little bit. Hey, Linda. That's okay. I'll get it back off. I wanted to share something. I hadn't really intended on doing this, but I'm going to do it. So I'm going to be transparent and share this with y'all. I am a prolific dreamer. I dream a lot, and I have journaled my dreams for, I think starting in maybe 2008, so it's been for years. And I do dream about things that do come true. You have to understand symbolism. You have to understand things like that. So what I'm getting around to sharing with you is, while I was away on this retreat, I had 3 warning dreams, and I had them back to back to back. And they were pretty intense, such that it woke me up. And I even had to share with my roommate what I had just dreamed, just to kind of try to go through it. So I'm just going to give you, not the dream, but I'm going to tell you basically what I think it meant. And I want to say this out of confidence, out of a place of faith, and out of a place of preparation. Because knowledge always, it brings you power. That's what it gives you, not fear. So I dreamed basically that there was something coming where supplies were going to be short. That was the gist of the dream. That there were things that when I saw this happen, that we had to go do that. And I was summoning my family. We were all getting together, and we were making a list on what we needed to do. So what I'm sharing with you all is make sure you have some food and stuff put up. I'm not saying put up for the apocalypse. I'm not saying that you have to go out and be ready for, like totally by yourself for months. That's not it. But, there is that truckers convoy that's going on in Canada. We had the cargo ships off of the coast. And now they're going to start the convoy in America. That's going to start, so that could slow some supplies down. So just have some canned goods, just have some things that if you needed it, you need it anyway. We should all have food in our cupboards, because the old timers, like in my parents' day, they always had food stored. We actually canned in my household. My mother put up for a whole year. We'd have food canned up. So just have some things. And what I wanted to say, after I had that dream, I kind of knew what it meant. But when I got home, on my video feed in YouTube, like I didn't Google, I was just going through my feed. There was another lady out there saying the same thing. And this was like January 30th, I think she'd put it out. She was saying, yes, rice and dry beans. That's right, they never go bad. Thank you, Amelia. We should always have things put up. And she had said that she felt something was coming, and just have some canned goods. And I'll agree. I have rice and dry beans and some canned goods too. So I don't know when, I can't say. But I know I had those 3 dreams, and it means something, because my dreams, they do. I won't say they come true. It's not that. It's just sometimes I understand it a lot more after it happens. But in this case, it was obvious what it was about. And then when I saw she had put a video up about the same thing, it was like a confirmation that we need to be prepared. You should be anyway. One thing in my dream, it said batteries, to get batteries. So make sure you have candles, you have batteries. I used to work in the power industry. So I remember there was a time we didn't have enough power, and we actually were buying it from Mexico. So we were because they were having brownouts and blackouts all over the United States, and they were rolling it. This has been years ago. But just have some things put up. There was you remember when the tsunami happened, the earthquake, the big 9.1, I believe it was, in Japan? Y'all can remember that? And they had tsunami. There was an older Japanese man that got trapped in I believe he was in a shed, or he was in his house, but he was trapped by water and by debris. But he was an old timer. He had put up water, he had canned goods, and he was there for days. But he didn't do without, because he had prepared. He knew to be prepared. Nothing like that had ever happened. I don't know that we've ever had a 9.1 that I can ever remember. But he was prepared. And depending on your region, where you're at, if you're somewhere that's got snow, I bet you have to prepare. My friends that live up north, they have blankets, they have water, they have different things in their cars in case they ever get trapped on the side of the road. They have a way. So take care of yourself, y'all. Put up something. I don't know what this is for. Maybe we'll know. Hopefully it'll be something very short-lived. But just always be prepared to take care of yourself and take care of your loved ones. And yes, rice and dry beans don't go bad. And anything canned beans last better than like canned fruit. My cans, sometimes they go bad if they've been in there for years. But just have a little something put up, okay? I hope y'all are all doing great. Y'all are wonderful. I see all your pictures coming up. I hope everybody's had a great week. Love y'all, and thank you. Love y'all. And I really look forward to being out here with y'all on these Tuesday nights. And I love that we have some new members that have come in, and they're posting their pictures, and they're giving something about themselves. I love to see what you guys are doing, where you're from, what you love. So post some things. Encourage one another, because I see you doing that out there. Encourage each other. We need that. There's nothing like being encouraged to just lift our spirits, and it just makes the day go better, doesn't it? So, listen, everybody. Oh, you're in a storm? Yes. Your babies, I bear your dog babies, Eileen. Is that what you're saying? My dog babies are over here, but they're being good. But yes, we can be. It can happen. It's happened to me. Take care, everyone. I'm going to sign off now. Spend time with your loved ones. Relax. I love y'all. And I'll see you out here again. Bye.
Good job, dude.
Get your picture back up, Amelia. I love that. Bye, Barbara. Eileen.